Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Okay, let me see who's here. Connie Balmer. Hey, Connie Balmer. Angela Simmons, Sherry Ware, Sonia Johnson, Novi D, Annie Bullard, Emma D, Elaine Parker, Rosanna Smith, Manello, H. Knight, um, Sonia H., Child of Cece, Brenda Phillips. Hi, Brenda. Gwendolyn Daniels, Sherry Ware, Clara Cadore, Cadora. Got it. Let's see who else here. Hitley Joseph, Angela Simmons. I think I said that. Okay, I guess I'm repeating myself. Brenda Crane, um, Annie Bullard. Hi, Annie Bullard. Okay, Black Queen, Valerie. All right, scrolling. All right. Okay, I'm just going to go all the way to the last, just making sure there's no super chats. There isn't, so that's good. All right. I haven't missed anything. But hello to everybody else that's here. Karen, Sherry Ware said hi. Judy. Okay. Olivia Johnson. Hello. Sheila Watson. Hey, Sheila is here. Music Love Army. Lover. Wait. Music Love Army. Lover Army. Okay, Music Lover Army. Got it. Oh, okay. Very good. Rosanna Smith. Hi. All right. Moving right along then. Let's get on with it. Oh, by the way, you guys, hi, Mystic Toxin. Sherry Ware wants to give a book away. Sherry wants to give a share. Oh, gosh. Okay. Sherry Ware wants to give share. Not sure exactly how we're going to do that yet. I'm trying to think of a good like Sussex related contest. Um, I don't know, maybe ask a question for someone to answer, of course. Something that only a real squatty would know. Let me think of something. I'll do that before we go. Now, the other thing is, of course, I don't want nobody's address, but Sherry Ware is trying to figure out a logical way to do this. So I'm thinking that whoever is chosen should inbox Sherry Ware on the um, Twitter. I hope that works. Let me know if that works, Sherry Ware. Maybe you can inbox that person on Twitter. Oh, Black Queen also wants to give a book away as well. Okay. Aren't you guys sweet? Connie Balmer. Connie has a super sticker. Super chat. Prayers for Meghan, Harry, kids, Doria. Great job, Baron. Thank you, Connie Balmer. Um, Thank you very much. And thank you so much for being a member and watching Royal Sussex. Okay. So while I'm trying to figure that out, so now we have two books that we want to give away. Is that right? Black Queen says, Baron, I have a book to give away as well. Hmm. Let me think about that. This is like something that just kind of came up right before I went on, and I hadn't had a chance to process that yet. But hmm, let me think. I'll think of something. Um, Paulette Eddy says Harry said that he knew what they did and he now knows what they did. Why they did it, and that they owe an apology to Meghan. Do you think? Well, yeah. Um, Although I don't suspect that they will apologize, but yeah, of course, an apology is due. Um, you know, they're so secure in their positions in the royal family, and so full of themselves that they don't feel a need to worry about being exposed or getting caught, because people are going to side with them and go along with the narrative no matter what it is. They always have and they always will be. um, the propaganda that they use is such a powerful tool, and um, very rarely is it used against them. I did not realize the amount of reach there was until I discovered the daily shows in America, whether it's the evening news or the morning shows, and even the entertainment shows. They tend to um, invoke whatever type of talking points are pushed out by the palace and the British tabloid media. Also, they tend to hire writers, I believe. I've seen a few, but they tend to hire people to write that actually come from the UK, that are royalists. If you look at their bios, you can tell that they are very much royalists, and everything is written with a very royal bias and slant to it. So it really is going up against a lot of power that is in place. And these people are hand selected by other people associated with the British tabloid media or the palace. And sometimes their resumes, their experience comes from the fact that they may have written for a tabloid. Um, of course, you would imagine, well, but this is America. These are, they're in the United States. These papers have a long history of informing and uplifting Americans. Well, that's just not the case. I mean, look at how there's this daily assault on the president of the United States from the right wing media. And that's the whole point. It's all part of the right wing agenda, and it's all led by the what do you call it? The culture war. It is literally a culture war that's going on. Thank you for your comment. Also, you guys, if you are not subscribed, please do subscribe. Especially for you guys that are listening every day. I know that there's a great deal of people that tune in every day, and you just haven't, you know, made that reach to subscribe. Some of you guys may actually find yourself watching on television. Go to your phone or your tablet, whichever electronic device, and hit that subscribe. And then sometimes you guys have watched and you're just like, well, especially hate watchers, just subscribe. I mean, you're there. It does help the algorithm. It helps the channel out a lot. So just subscribe. I mean, it's not like you're doing anything else right now, right? So just subscribe. Hate watchers, daily watchers. I mean, I literally had someone tell me that they watch every day, but they have not subscribed. And I'm just like, why? And that was, of course, over a year ago. It was someone who was very suspicious of my motivations. Exactly what is it that you are doing with this Royal Sussex? Well, okay, over 800 and what is it, about 850 videos later. Um, I don't think that I'm um, working in some type of covert way. So just hit the subscribe button. Um, I'm just going to venture to guess either I'm the most clever person in the world or everything is as it appears to be. 828 videos. There you go. So just hit the like button, or actually, and subscribe, and even share. Yeah, just share. All right. So, let's see. Black Queen says, oh, that's for someone else, but I'll take it anyway. These demons are relentless. They want the couple and kids harmed. It's a cult. Um, I won't disagree with that one. Not at all. It is a cult. It is a cult. And speaking of which, There's going to be a funeral very soon for someone who, I won't say that person's name, but y'all know who I'm talking about, who belonged to a religious order that is very controversial. And anyway, that's all I'll say. It just seems to be um, lots of that goes on with that particular group. Hey, Big Mama, Baron, did you deliberately misspell Harry's name yesterday? Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, this slide is from yesterday. I did fix it on the what do you call it, on the app, but of course, yeah, I was in such a hurry yesterday, and anyway, I just need the slide to open with for today. So but yeah, yesterday, all of the let's see, the it was Petal that pointed it out to me on the Twitter and on the YouTube. Both of them were misspelled. Um, but yeah, it's always a race at the last minute to try to get the thumbnail done. It's so rare that I actually have a thumbnail that's completed in advance. Let me see here. Joanne Baker says, "I'm sorry. Really, why? Need to return to her barn and finish eating her hay." Oh man. Bright Eyes PB&J, haven't seen you for a while. Hi all. Donate book for a Sussex Squad member. Oh, you guys are giving me work to do today, huh? Uh, Message person, send book by post per instructions. From that person, also look up Sussex Community Event book drive going on through Bluebird Books. I saw that and I didn't share it because I wasn't sure it was legitimate. Um, I saw that and I wasn't sure, so that's why I haven't mentioned it. But I did see that on Twitter. But I don't like to just share stuff without knowing exactly where it comes from. So but yeah, I mean, I'm just like, okay, so it's going through a book distributor. That seems legitimate. So I'll take a look at that again. I'll take a look at that again. Um, Wait a second, you guys. Huh. Nope, not that. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I'm sorry, my screen was doing something. Mm-hmm. Nope. Okay, that didn't work. All right, never mind. I'll manage. So, where are we here? Oh, you know what? This is yesterday's. Why do I have yesterday? No wonder. I had yesterday's this is the one for today. Oh man, what am I doing? That was yesterday's screen. I'm just like, why am I looking at but yeah, that was from yesterday. Never mind, you guys. Oh Lord, what am I doing today? Let me have another sip of my coffee. Mm. All right. Okay. Well, that explains it. That was from yesterday. This is today. No wonder I hadn't fixed it yet. All right. Back over here. Sorry, you guys. Now, let's proceed, shall we? Okay, so this right here, Harry's Memoir Spare, is Amazon's #1 most read and most sold nonfiction book. So, right here, you have the Amazon charts, and it says Spare by Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. First week on the list is #1. Now, the 9 weeks, I know that looks weird, but don't forget, there were people who were doing pre orders, right? And for something that wasn't even available yet, a lot of people did the pre orders, myself included. So there you have it. So that's why it has the 9 weeks on the list as #1. When I ordered my book, it was when they first announced Spare. And because of that, I didn't even have the cover of the book to look at because it wasn't created yet. They just announced it, and sight unseen, I just went ahead and made my purchase through Target. So, and that was within an hour after the announcement for the date. So, yeah, that is how far back I go from my purchase. And then here you can see following the record launch of Prince Harry's book, we already reprinting to be able to deliver on time to the bookstores that ordered it from us, thanks to the printer CPI for their formidable reactivity, and thanks to all the booksellers, readers for being there. So this, of course, was a video, but I did some screenshots. So the big picture right there, you can see the pages that are uh, don't look like they're printed yet. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But anyway, those are stacks of pages for each book, and then there you can see oh, however long that conveyor is, but there's the conveyor belts in the distance there. There is actually one of the finished books that is jacketed and going down a conveyor. And then finally, someone took a book off of the conveyor and snapped a photo of it. So that is the process by which the spare is being printed. And they had to go back and start reprinting them because of the huge response from people like you and I who ordered the books. And of course, they went out for delivery, and all of the bookshops that wanted them had them. They were snapped up pretty fast. And so they had to go back and reprint them, or print some more rather, so that they would be available. Okay. And then here you have New York Times combined print and ebook nonfiction, that is. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, details his struggle with the royal family, loss of his mother, service in the British Army, and marriage to Meghan Markle. Well, what do you know? It is a New York Times bestseller. And same goes for our Duchess. She also has a New York Times bestseller. So his and her bestsellers. What a blessing is that? I mean, it's all in the family, isn't it? This explains why the Cambridges, or I don't know, I still like to call them the Cambridges. This explains why Tweedledee and Tweedledum have been out there working so much, because they're trying to save face. Because the Duke and Duchess of Sussex has, how shall I put it, has kind of taken them to the night water, as they say. They are so frustrated because Harry and Meghan have upstaged them in the most epic way possible. And so at 350 million pounds a year, the royal family has a goal. If you're not really busy, the next best thing to do is to look busy. So for 350 million pounds a year, you can have the Fab Four, the king and the queen consort, the prince and princess of Wales, go to a local school or charity and pose for photos, limiting their conversations to something superficial, bringing nothing with them, and really not taking much away either. And that only costs a whopping 350 million pounds a year to help them maintain all of the crown properties, private properties, a fleet of jets and helicopters and Range Rovers and state Bentleys. It's not cheap. 350 million pounds a year. That also covers the cost of security, and there is plenty of it, even for the houses that they never see. Don't they isn't there a property or an estate in Northern Ireland that nobody ever visits? It's just there for whenever they go to visit, the once or twice a year. I think they have a place in Northern Ireland. So yeah, All of that cost a whopping 350 million pounds per year. So, Prince Harry's memoir is #1 bestseller in the Netherlands. That's right, in the Netherlands, it is the #1 bestseller. Let's see, memoirs are also selling well in the Netherlands. The Dutch translation of Reserve they call it Reserve, came in first place in bestsellers. 60, whatever, I don't know what it finishes there, but what do you know? Bestseller in the Netherlands. Shirley Kearney says Baron Prince Harry and Princess Meghan never stop working. So no matter what they do, the Wales can and will never reach the Sussex character. Well, I know that and you know that, but some of those reporters, some of those panelists on the British shows, they say that Harry didn't want to do the work. And what gets me is when they try to portray them as lazy. I'm just like, seriously? Harry and Meghan lazy? They didn't want to do the work? I even love when they said that Meghan realized how much work was involved and didn't want to have anything to do with it. I'm just like, Meghan? Meghan, I've always had a side hustle, Markle, that thought that it was too much work, who simultaneously worked with charities, a television show, the United Nations special ambassador and such, and one of the most prolific letter writers in all of Hollywood, if you will. And what was that again? Lazy or didn't want to do the work? That's just incredulous. And you know it must be bad if I use a big word. Let's see. Big Mama says, Baron, they've been hiding since Harry's book came out. They sent Anne and her husband to King Constantine's funeral, and he was Wilbot's godfather. Yeah, they sent Anne, and I think they also sent Princess Michael of Kent and some other distant relations. Um, Now, people are saying that they didn't go because of the way Greece rid themselves of the royal family. And if I'm correct, it was by referendum that they rid themselves of the royal family. And they even said that Constantine was not even able to go back to petition to try to save his position. Now, Greece had, I believe they had a coup. What did they have a coup before or after, or was it during the Nazi invasion? But whatever the case may be, they have a huge problem with neo Nazis there. And they also have, well, because their economy has been struggling for so long, they need someone to pick on. So they have been going after the migrant workers that actually help to save their economy, as though, it's like with the United States. Please show me the American who's going to go out and pick lettuce or strawberries or whatever. Same thing for Greece. So they have like some pretty typical issues going on, and the crown was the least thing they wanted to have as an expense, so they got rid of them. So yeah, that's probably why they didn't go, is because it just hits too close to home. It's a reminder to people that a nation can get on without having a royal family, or at least a sovereign royal family. So thank you so much, Big Mama. And was that a super chat? Oh, Helen Cole, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Thursday to you. All right, let's see here. Take that away. Now, this is Lone Star. I had never heard of it, Lone Star, before, But Lone Star adult top picks. Again, I had never heard of it. And so when I saw adult top picks, I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't one of those type of sites, is it? But I don't suppose it is. Spare by Prince Harry from Penguin Random House Royalty. For the first time, Prince Harry tells his own story, chronicling his journey with raw and unflinching honesty. A landmark publication, Spare is full of insight, revelations, self examinations, and hard won wisdom about the eternal power of love over grief. God, whoever wrote that is really good, I think. But anyway, it's recommending their top picks, and the number one pick from this Canadian-based site is Spare. They're saying to take Spare. So whatever the critics are saying, and whatever they're trying to do with all of these ever changing polls or whatever, I think the people are actually using their voices, or they're voting with their pocketbooks or with their choices in literature by reaching for Spare. So, for someone who's so unpopular and so unnecessary, and someone who has been considered a race traitor or a traitor to his nation of birth, there sure seems to be a lot of people interested in hearing what he's saying, in spite of all of that nonsense. Hi, Legs. Legs wants to say hi to a few people. And, we're always ready to help out. So there you go, people that Legs wants to say hi to. All right. Anfu says, oh, really? Those British fake reporters, along with discarded host and their distorted news on Harry and Meghan, well, they now have to rethink their strategy since Spare is the truth. Yes, word for word, it is very, very true. I see Prince Harry as a very honest broker. Um, he just doesn't impress me as someone who is compelled to lie about things. He's told his truth. He's reached a point in his life where he wants to let go of that pain. And the only way to distance himself from the pain is to tell the truth about himself, the truth about his family, and about some of the, uh, I guess, pain that has been directed toward him just for the sake of them saving face or their position or their public image. They decided to sacrifice him. As he said, I was sacrificed at Camilla's altar, for the sake of her public image. Makes a lot of sense. I mean, when you think about it, William's position is assured. I mean, he's a nasty bit of work. And I do believe that his big motivation is born out of jealousy, but Camilla's is for survival. It's the only way that she could actually take the heat off of herself so that a very bitter and hostile public backlash, upon marriage, and then, of course, being crowned queen consort, that backlash would never materialize. But so far it's been working out for her. She's been able to um, carry the day with her connections in the media. Very nasty bit of work. Okay, so here, Prince Harry's Spare becomes Australia's fastest selling memoir with over 120,000 copies bought in his first week. That's Australia. Prince Harry's controversial tell all memoir, Spare, has become Australia's fastest selling memoir since records began with 120,000 print, audio, and ebook copies sold in the first week. How do you like that? And that's reporting as of the 19th of January. And right now, I think it's probably the 20th there because of the time difference. So there you have it. Spare is the best-selling, or should I say, fastest-selling memoir with 120,000 copies in its first week. So that's Rupert Murdoch territory. That's the home of the Australian Sunrise Show, the Australian Today Show, the Australian 60 Minutes, and so on. Um, and of course, Sky News, all of which has been extremely hostile to the Sussexes, and in their own backyard, Prince Harry has been incredibly successful. And according to Angela Levin, Megan, she wrote the book, and she probably told Harry what to say. It's all Megan's words, not his words. It's really it's what Megan wants because well, after all, she's a Hollywood actress, and she's very used to having her way. So it's really what Megan wants. So for Megan's first, um, for her first Prince Harry's biography, I think she's done an amazing job. I mean, nobody could have told Prince Harry's story better than Meghan. So, um, yeah, he wrote down what she told him to say, and now it's a bestseller. Baron, did you see British media pushing agenda that royal family don't want Meghan back, and uh, Queen took Meghan and Lily out of her will? Will is sealed, so how would they know? Exactly. The will is sealed. It's supposed to go into a lawyer's office in London for 90 years. And, you know, I would think that with the book coming out and with Harry telling his truth, it would be so easy for Harry to have spoken about that, seeing that some parts of the book, the very ending of the book, was added later on. I think if that happened, Harry would just say, you know what? They got to her. This is what happened. I don't believe it was her own, you know, hand that done such a thing or whatever. So I don't believe it. I think that they are trying to make the Sussexes look bad. They've already tried the thing with Harry's and Meghan's, I guess, docu series and such, and them making the appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show that helped cause further health problems for the Queen, or additional health problems for the Queen, before she died at age 96. Or Prince Philip, that caused him a lot of pain and suffering before he died at age 99. Oh my goodness. Well, the fact that they both didn't live into their hundred and something teens is really astounding. Oh boy, if it wasn't for Harry and Meghan, I guess they would have just gone on forever, huh? Oh yeah. Well, you know what? I'm not surprised that they would. Oh wow, David Crosby of Crosby, Still and Nash. Oh my goodness, David Crosby. Looks like David Crosby just died. Let me see here. Yeah, 81-year-old singer songwriter dies after long illness. David Crosby. Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Oh, okay. Well, that just popped up on the wire. I tell you, sometimes I sit here and I just see things pop up on the side of the screen. So, um, well, that's too bad. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Huh. Okay. I'm sorry. Just had a sip of water there. Got good to me. Uh, 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 oh man. As sand runs through the hourglass, such are the days of our lives waiting to hear what she's really trying to say. Oh man, such a grifter. All right, so Prince Harry's book smashed Australian sales records, blah, 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 blah. It's done very well, blah, blah, blah. Moving on. And here, Prince Harry's special relationship with the American media proves it's good to be the spare. Now, in spite of all of the negativity and all the polls that they're trying to throw out there to demoralize the support base for the Sussexes, still you have articles like this from the Salon, not a British tabloid media. Prince Harry represents everything American audiences love. Being the spare to his brother, Prince William's heir, makes him an underdog. He's a former substance abuser living a better life and extolling the virtues of therapy. He's also a wealthy man who, by all appearances, has a good heart. No wonder the press on both sides of the pond want to devour him. Each stop on his recent stateside media tour to promote his best selling memoir, Spare, proves this while also showing how he's feeding the beast in one country and leading it on the tether in the other. As an Economist review puts it, with Spare, the UK press had an embarrassment of riches. Harry had the riches of embarrassment. Hundreds of thousands of people in the UK made Spare the country's fastest selling nonfiction book ever. It moves 1,430,000 copies on its first day in the US, Canada, and Great Britain combined, according to Penguin Random House. Of course, people aren't tearing into the pages or binging Harry and Meghan to receive an education in the parasitic relationship between the British tabloid press and the business that runs the royal family, the firm. The United States media and its consumers, Spare is a celebrity's offering of the most exclusive of access around in the form of primo dish on the royal family. Queen Elizabeth II made a life out of being mysterious and unknowable. Here we have her grandson willing to make her human for us. The people love for Princess Diana is eternal, and many Americans voraciously bestow their affection for her on her son, who married Meghan Markle, one of our daughters. So, to mark his book release, the Duke of Sussex sat down with Anderson Cooper on 60 Minutes before appearing on Good Morning America for a 12-minute conversation with Michael Strahan that ran in an extended 29-minute version in prime time and on Hulu. Whichever version you choose to watch didn't matter, since Cooper and Strahan essentially covered the same ground, starting by rehashing Harry's disdain for the British tabloid media. Cooper and Strahan separately and similarly invited Harry to open up about his mother and the unresolved grief that gripped him for years after his mother's death. He explained that the extent and depth of the rift between him and his brother William revealed his true feelings about his father, the King Charles II, Queen Consort Camilla, and established what he intended to accomplish in writing a book so revealing that it takes millions of strangers not only under the skin but behind his pants zipper. Okay, that's a bit over the top, but he did go there. not trying to speak a language that perhaps they understand. I will sit here and speak truth to you with the words that come out of my mouth rather than using someone else's, an unnamed source, to feed the lies or a narrative to a tabloid media that literally radicalized its readers to then potentially cause harm to my family, my wife, my kids. He says to Cooper and Strahan in similar terms. Still, neither enabled commoners to know the self exiled celebrity prince better than Stephen Colbert did on The Late Show, where the host and Harry engaged in a 40-minute combination of repartee and emotional unburdening over tumblers of tequila with a twist of lime. They take this as statement of respect for Colbert and a disappointment in Cooper and Strahan, with the understanding that the late night hosts and the news anchors have different job descriptions. Without intending to, a geyser of mainstream news coverage making the release of Harry's book exposed the soft bellies of the interviewers tasked with testing the royals' veracity. Then again, when one recalls the true purpose of Prince Harry and Meghan's extended coming out to American society, Colbert was always going to outdo the others. I agree with that. So anyway, if you want to see more of that article, it is in the salon. I think I'll try to, matter of fact, I will put the link on the community tab right now. Let me see. Do that. And, okay. Wait for it. Nobody help me. I got this. Uh, Nobody help me. I got this. Community. Uh, Wait for it. Wait for it. I got it. I got it. Okay, so I will add a pic to it so it'll be easy for you to find. Hmm. Hope that works. All right. Ah. All right. All right. All right. Got it. Got it. Okay, it's on the community tab. And I agree. Stephen Colbert was superb with his interview. I have to say that my second is Anderson Cooper. Michael Strahan. And as for Tom Bradby, I was a bit disappointed. His confrontational style may have given him a bit of authenticity where he needed it, but I think it was superfluous and not fit for purpose. There you go. All right, so I'm gonna take a little scroll back and look at some of your comments. Helen Cole, I did thank you, right? I think I did. Thank you anyway, in case I haven't, but thank you for the super sticker. And I'm gonna scroll from there. Okay, Big Mama says they grab and Baron. They have no more lies to tell, so they are grasping for straws. Every lie they tell, you pop that receipt on them. Exactly. A matter of fact, I think I have something from the Sussex Squad Detective Agency to share with you guys later. Baron, I thought Chucky was trying to slim down the monarchy to just four. Where does Anne and husband fit into a slim down monarchy? Well, I don't know that he actually said four. I don't recall Charles actually putting a number on it, because if Harry and Meghan hadn't stepped back from duty, then they would have been included until they were, done with them, until the Cambridge kids were old enough to assume the role. So I am going to say that it never really had a number four. Now they did refer to them as the Fab Four, but I don't think Charles ever limited the number to four, to be fair. I believe the slim down monarchy idea was just a matter of having a few key players, and Harry and whoever he married would, of course, be part of it. And then, very obviously, so I guess what I'm trying to say is there would be no more Princess Michaels of Kent's or Prince Michael of Kent's, the Duke of Gloucester, and the Duke of Kent. I don't think that those roles would have been perpetuated. Also, I think once the Wessex children became old enough, they wouldn't have a role because they don't have a prince or princess title. And thanks to Charles, the parents don't even have a dukedom. So I am going to guess that Slim Down Monarchy would have focused on Charles, Will and Kate, and the grandkids, and pretty much nobody else. Princess Anne would also only work until she wasn't able to do it, or, whenever she joins her mom. And then after that, it would have just been focused upon that core group, excluding Harry and Meghan and the children. Again, once the Cambridge kids were old enough, then Harry and Meghan's role would have been greatly reduced and all but, superficial. And then that would be it. That would be your slim down monarchy. That's my guess. That is my guess. Uh, anyway, thank you so much for your comment. And oh, wow, I am so far behind in the. Mm, mm, mm. Uh, what work, Bear? You mean PR appearances? Exactly. Cookies and Cream says Harry has told those racist fools more than once to leave his wife and children alone. They keep underestimating Harry. He isn't fooling around with these degenerate people. Exactly. Joseph Berno says, our faves are on everyone's mind, both haters and fans alike. If this is irrelevance, sign me up. Amen. Sign me up for that one. McKinsey says, I bet if anything, Harry and Meghan added a couple more years to Queen and Philip, that is, gave them some excitement with actual working people. Yes. Um, Yeah, I believe that the Queen and Philip were advancing in years and just didn't have much control. And it makes sense to me that Charles has been a regent in all but name only. Charles had been sitting around all those years without a definitive position with the firm. And so as Philip got on in age and the Queen got on in age, I don't know exactly from which point, but if you look at the agreement with the Wessexes for the dukedom that Charles is withholding from them, and who knows, maybe he'll give it to them at the coronation, but they say it's going to um, Charlotte. But maybe that will be a coronation gift to them, but probably not at this point. But either way, I think that uh, the Queen and Philip pretty much turned over the reins of power to Charles. And I'm going to say at about the time when Charles stopped writing those letters to government ministers, and at about that time, Charles stopped talking all that nonsense that he was talking about certain things. So maybe a good 10 years, maybe, that he's actually been doing more of the work than the Queen. The Queen could just, show up and cut ribbons. But I think that's the way it worked out. I don't think the Queen had much by direct input. I think the last big intervention that the Queen had was when she said no one would wear a uniform for Philip's funeral. That was probably the last of it, and maybe that was only just to um, prevent her from being as hurt by everything. And so, aside from that, I'm not sure how much control the queen had, even with her calendar or her diary, if you will, amongst other things. And maybe in a future book from Harry, we'll find out otherwise. But thank you so much, Mackenzie. 1,500 people? I sure hope you all are hitting the like button. And furthermore, please make sure that you are subscribed. Let me see how the subscriptions look right now. See if my testimonial earlier made any difference whatsoever. I'm checking. I'm checking. I want to see how many people have subscribed since I said something. A whopping 20 people. Okay, that's not bad. I'll take that. Thank you, 20 people who have subscribed since I said something earlier. I appreciate it. Thank you. Again, if you guys are not subscribed, please make sure you do. It helps out the channel so much. Even hate listeners are welcome to subscribe. Okay. But anyway, thank you very much. And moving on. Let's move on, shall we? Expat Life says, now that we know that Edward is not getting the Duke of Edinburgh title, he is a working royal. Is he hoping Charles will change his mind? Again, I think that it's not out of the realm of possibility that that may be announced at the at the coronation or the day of the coronation. I mean, I would think that for Charles to have the appearance of generosity and benevolence on the day of the coronation couldn't do anything but help him. Big Mama says Charles is slimming down because the Commonwealth is leaving soon. He will only be king of his own backyard. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know when or where or how the whole thing about a slim down monarchy started. It may have been just as, simple as Charles taking a measure of how the rest of Europe and their families are getting along with the idea of monarchy. And so when you have countries like Denmark or Sweden or um, Norway or what other countries, even Spain. Spain is like what, just the king and the queen are the ones that are actually uh, doing most of the work. And then, of course, they have two daughters, so that there's not a male to inherit the crown. God only knows who she's going to marry, the eldest daughter, but um, yeah, so I think most monarchies are pretty slimmed down. You have about a core group of 4 to 6 people that are doing all the work. The reigning monarch, and then whoever the crown prince or princess is. So having it down to a core group of 4 to say 8 people seems logical, but I don't know how that conversation got started with the slim down monarchy. And I've never heard Charles or seen quoted anywhere where has spoken about it directly. I'm sure he has, but I've just never seen it. So I don't know what the context was for the idea of slim down monarchy or how it evolved. So if you guys know, please let me know, but I don't know where that comes from. Okay, so here you go. John Cooper. Which British royal couple do you like and respect more? Well, it turns out, according to his poll, which had 46,347 votes, people tend to favor Harry and Meghan above the other two. And of course, no one's even thinking about the king and queen consort. So there you have it. Highly favored, loved, appreciated, adored, Harry and Meghan. Not so much Will and Kate. So consider John Cooper's poll, where you got 46,347 votes, compared to one of those slanted, biased, ridiculous polls from, say, YouGov, where they poll people that are 65 and older and people who are probably the most royalist people you'll ever find. Is there any wonder that those polls never work out so well for the Sussexes? I mean, there is a certain demographic that you can't even get a hold of nowadays. And of course, I do believe that certain, well, okay, I'll put it to you like this. I believe this happened to, was it Ed Bradley, or I forget which mayoral race it was, but the black candidate had a lot of people who had, through the polls, had committed to vote for him. And on election day, a lot of that support seemed to evaporate. So, on the one hand, even the exit polls said that people were voting for him. But on the day of the election, they actually went in the booth and did something else. Do you guys remember that? I forget exactly who that happened to, but on the election day, the polls actually said one thing, and for the candidate, it was something else. Was it who was the Bradley was the governor in mayor in Los Angeles back in the 70s? I forget, but anyway, they had a name for that in politics, and I think the same thing happens when it comes to these polls. Is that there was it the governor of California? No, I think it was the mayor of Los Angeles. I'm pretty sure it was a mayor's office that happened, because we haven't had that many opportunity. I believe it was a mayor. I really do believe that was a mayor. Yeah, Tom Bradley, Los Angeles. That's what I thought, Tom Bradley, and he was the mayor back in the 70s. So, yeah, it's like I don't know if they called it like Tom Bradley syndrome or what, but it was the polls were saying one thing, but people's actual election day results, it was very different from the polls. And I think the same thing happens with these polls with the Sussexes, is that people who are even very neutral about them, sometimes people, even if they don't care, they will lean toward the feelings of a family member or a friend who has, very negative feelings about a person. So and then, too, another little sleight of hand when it comes to polls, it also depends on how you ask the question. How you present the polling questions can affect the data. Like if you say, since Harry and Meghan are not even royals anymore, blah, 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 blah. So even that is a factor. And then, of course, there's a lot of people that you cannot reach by traditional means. So yeah, and then there are people who actually don't even use their real names or their locations or anything like that. Like I tell you guys, my own personal Facebook page, I've never listed an occupation. I don't list family. I don't list any of that stuff. It's pretty much a blank slate, and it's been like that, for I think I've had that account for probably since 2008 or 2007, something like that, maybe 2009. But I've had it for a long time. I'll put it to you like this: most people were still on. Um, oh gosh, what was the other one before Facebook? MySpace. Most people were still on MySpace when I got my Facebook account. That's how long I've had that account. and I've never listed anything. Let's see, Baron. A lot of these people doing these polls really underestimate how far and wide the Sussex squad is, and that's why they only ask a handful of people. They know it will break. It will. I'm sorry. It will be a lock for the Sussexes. Yes. It's the polls can be very misleading, and especially when you have the governing body of the polls infiltrated by one of Camilla's family members or extended family members. I just don't trust it. Let me see. Slim down to Charles, Camilla, Will, Kate. That sounds as tantalizing as potato salad with shredded carrots and raisins. Thank you so much for that. Is that Peacekeeper? Peacekeeper 962. Very good. Thank you so much for that. Uh, Black Queen says Baron Tisa Tales is doing a book club live tonight at 6:05 to discuss Spare. Very cool. Very cool. I hope I'll have a chance to watch it. Ah, oh, that's Eastern time. So, wait, that's coming up soon then, right? Right. Yeah, I may not have a chance to see it, but thank you so much for that. And thank you for the super chat. All right. And let's move on, shall we? Happy birthday, Margaret. Vet Von Dog Adius Verjardog. In other words, Princess Margaret celebrates her 80th birthday today. Now, if you guys don't know who she is, Princess Margaret of the Netherlands is celebrating her 80th birthday. You may recall she presented Harry with that amazing little baby jumpsuit. I guess it was a jumpsuit. What do you call those? Jumpers, jumpsuits, little baby pajama thingies, top with the legs dangling, little cute, fat, chubby legs sticking out the bottom. I don't know what you call those. But anyway, she presented that to Harry for the Invictus Games. And boy, look at how skinny Harry is there. Harry is just like, I believe this is when Meghan really had him eating organically and other stuff. But now that he's out in California, he's kind of getting just a wee bit of an American waistline. Still fit, I might add, though. But he's kind of looking like a dad now, whereas before he still had that rather lanky teenage build. But now he's starting to look like somebody's daddy. But yeah, so happy 80th birthday. And check it out, the little Invictus onesie. That's right, it's a little onesie. Look at the Invictus onesie. It's so cute. Yes, thank you. See, I finally got there. A little Invictus onesie. How cute is that? It's just adorable. And then you have those little chubby arms sticking out and those little chubby baby legs sticking out and the feet just kicking with happiness and joy and oh man. Isn't that adorable? Little baby onesie with the little chubby cheeks and the chubby legs and little chubby arms sticking out. That is adorable. How cool is that? I wish there was a photo with little Archie in his onesie. Sorry, Baron. I'm Peacekeeper. I was working on my website. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for because I had never seen that before, but thank you so much. All right. So where was I at? Oh, I was talking about the little baby onesie with the little chubby legs and little chubby arms and his little chubby cheeks looking at you. It's adorable. But anyway, happy birthday, Princess Margaret. And thank you for being, I think she was the royal patron of the Invictus Games. So she's met with Harry a few times, and I believe she was also there for the opening of the games. And she even planted a flower or something like that in her garden to celebrate the Invictus Games. So very cool. All right, so I saw this. Oh my goodness! Now that is too small to see it, but it looks like there is a court date scheduled for March 27th. A judiciary court date for the complainants. Oh, you know what? I'm so sorry I can't see that. But remember the people: Elizabeth Hurley, Elton John, obviously Prince Harry. Oh yeah, David Furnish, Baroness Lawrence, and is it Sadie Frost? But anyway, all of those people, it looks like there's a court date. Now, I don't imagine that any of them have to appear, but their representatives will be there for the appearance. But yeah, that seems to be something that is going to happen on March the 27th. So watch this space. When I have the opportunity, I'll share some more with you about that. But I don't even know how this made it into the Twitter sphere, but one of the squatties posted that earlier, and I was just like, oh, what is that? Okay. So, oh, you know what? Give me just a second, you guys. Let me do something. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, sorry about that. Uh, okay, so this was a very funny exchange. I got to play this soundbite for you. You are going to love it. Try to listen carefully. The sound quality may not be the best, but we'll see how it goes. Dr. Tessa Dunlap. Here we go. Oh, wait, sorry about that.
Which one is?
Who grew up in a goldfish bowl.
Is he in pain or has he never been happy? Which one is it? He's telling us how happy he is.
Who grew up in a goldfish bowl, who's thrashing his way out of the gilded cage, but actually has realised he doesn't know how to exist without the gilded cage.
Oh, no, he does.
I, incidentally, am no apologist for Harry.
You are.
But I do apologise on your behalf, because one minute you sit there, Piers, and you say, oh, they'll keep yapping away, they should be ignored. There is no way, if they so much as fart, that you would ignore what they say. You stoke the boiler, you stoke the
let me be
problems.
clear.
Who grew up in a goldfish bowl.
Is he in pain or has he never been happy? Which one is it? He's telling us how happy he is.
Who grew up in a goldfish bowl, who's thrashing his way out of the gilded cage, but actually has realised he doesn't know how to exist without the gilded cage.
Oh, no, he does.
I, incidentally, am no apologist for Harry.
You are.
But I do apologise on your behalf, because one minute you sit there, Piers, and you say, oh, they'll keep yapping away, they should be ignored. There is no way, if they so much as fart, that you would ignore what they say.
Oh my God. And you guys wonder why I love her so much. If they so much as fart, you'll be right there. If they so much as fart, you'll be there. I don't know where she gets this from, but you know what? It's something about Piers Morgan. He kind of brings that out of people because he's so repulsive that I don't know. Sometimes when they go low, you just have to go lower. So she went lower. She said, if they so much as fart, you're going to be there. Oh my goodness. And of course, she's the very famous one who referred to Kate as the mute woman. They should be so lucky that she would be mute, but occasionally Kate does try to stammer a few words to share with people, to, you know, mixed results, of course. Okay, but let me move on here. But if they so much as fought, if they so much as fought, you will be there. um, One of the squatties said this, and recently, you guys, there's been a bit of an issue with one of the people on Twitter who has a private account, and someone shared one of their quotes. And, you know, because they had the lock symbol, they prefer that people not, you know, lead people to their account. And so there's been a few times when I shared quotes, but mostly when I get that feel, if it's not a blue check mark or whatever, I try to keep it more private whenever I can, be, you know, because I don't want to fill somebody's Twitter with a bunch of strangers and stuff. So when you see my thing is that when you see something in red like that in a red box, then that means it's a quote from someone, maybe from Twitter, maybe from Instagram or even Facebook. But just so you know that I'm quoting someone, you know, so it's not like I'm like taking somebody else's words and using them. So imagine converting your stepson's bedroom into a dressing room only to leave your house looking like this. Camilla looks a royal mess. I tell you guys, not only are some of the squatties part-time detectives, but they're also part-time stand-up comedians and satirists. So yeah, some of the ones I see actually catch me off guard. So I love that. Uh, and this really made me laugh. So Paul Barrow says Prince Harry and William's feud may have begun over sausage, claims Diana's ex-butler. Princess Diana's former butler, Paul Barrow, says that Prince Harry's anger could have been sparked by William getting an extra sausage because he would never be king one day. I mean, because he would, I'm sorry, you know what I mean. Because he would be king one day, he usually is entitled to an extra sausage. Um, I'm just gonna let that hang in the air. No pun intended. I'm just gonna let that hang in the air. I have nothing to add to that. What's understood need not be said. Um, All's well that ends well. All that glitters is not gold. Find a fool and bump his head. Two tears in the bucket. Um, is it all right? Is it tasteless for me to say that? Okay, I guess it is. All right, so that's it. This may have started over the odd sausage here and there, and I'm moving on. Now, following in Diana's footsteps, Prince William meets with the homeless at the charity in London, previously visited by his mother and Harry, as he continues with duty after Duke's attacks. Well, I tell you, the Sussexes have, well, actually, Harry must have rattled their cage so bad that the Cambridges, now the whatever they are, they have been as busy as a cat covering up poop. I mean, they are so busy out and about and shaking hands and looking at people and even hugging and taking selfies. Prince William visited the Paul UK in London 30 years after Diana attended, the charity runs programs which help people out of homelessness. The Prince of Wales focus on ending homeless crisis this year. Diana visited the charity on a number of occasions in 1990, 93, and 95. Okay, let's see here. Why does that hissing goose and lightly salted silky chicken Camilla look so bad in green? Uh, Princess Megan. Princess Megan, wow, birds of a feather. Let's see here. That hissing goose. You know what is so funny to me is that whoever wrote that actually paired it up with no, actually someone else in that thread showed a picture of the Amish women. I think they're Amish or something. And from the back, I guess Camilla Wood kind of looked like an Amish woman, like that. I'm telling you, some of the Sussex squad are incredibly funny, and thank you so much, Lex, for that. So let's see, where was I here? Andrew, you're a sicko man. That whole family is kind of weird, though, aren't they? Okay, let me see. Is Baldy smiling in that picture? Oh, wait, it's the one on the left. Never mind. I thought they were giving that senior directions. Yeah, actually, William is in the center, not on the right side. Um, yes, William is the one with the well, anyway, he's the one to the left, not the one on the right. So yeah, they're not helping some senior with directions about how to get to Tesco's or something like that, or the pharmacy. Okay, so anyway, following in his mother's footsteps, how about more like following in Prince Harry's footsteps? Prince of Wales visiting DePaul, UK to highlight their work helping young people experiencing homeless, insecure housing. I revealed last year that homelessness is going to be a big part of William's work as Prince of Wales. Notably, his mother's visited the charity 3 times in the 90s. But look at how Harry visits. Harry's not all buttoned down and stuffy. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised William didn't try to do this. As you can see, Harry has already taken a photo on that same staircase where his mom took a photo back in the 90s. And there he is, all grown up with that same charity. And right there, you can see Harry viewing a picture of his mom that they have proudly hung on the wall there. Harry's even out and about running with them, exercising, training with them. How cool is that? So no wonder William decided, uh-oh, I got to get over there. Harry's getting too much attention. Black Queen says, now disloyal Baldy wants to follow in his mother's footsteps even after he threw her under the bus. I will believe him when he is under the bus with her. Damn. so, so in order to convince you of his devotion, he needs to go under the bus with her. Well, damn. Oh, Black Queen, I tell you, sometimes I'm afraid to look, but then I can't. I cannot not look. You know what I mean? Oh. Oh, if you want to prove your loyalty, go dive under that bus. And to think that it took him 30 whole years to continue his mother's continue in his mother's footsteps. I told you, Baron, grasping at straws. You two, Big Mama, y'all are too much today. Oh my goodness. It only took him 30 years. Well, you know what? I have a theory. I have a theory. Would you all like to hear it? My theory is perhaps he misses sleeping rough with a black man. And so, in order to make sure that he secures another black man to sleep rough with, he has to return to that same charity that he went to, that his mom went to some 30 years ago, because who knows, maybe they're running out of opportunities for him to sleep rough with a black man. And as that one singer say, once you go black, you never go back. If you guys don't believe me, you can Google Prince William sleeps rough with a black man, and you will find that article there on the left side. My friend Prince William is no racist. Prince William reminds us that he once slept with a black man, and that should prove he's not a racist. Seyi Abokin has known Prince William for more than 10 years and once slept rough with him. He speaks about their enduring friendship. Like I said, maybe he needs a new black man to sleep rough with. Maybe that's why he's gone to this charity, because surely there's got to be someone that is homeless that just happens to be a black man who wants to demonstrate what it's like to sleep rough on the streets of London. So that explains that explains why he went to go and visit said charity, is because he's obviously looking for a new candidate to sleep rough with on the streets of London. So, but yeah, truthfully though, the Cambridges are they're trying to offset any criticism from Harry's book, or any outing for that matter in Harry's book. Oh, by the way, well, hello to you too, Charlotte. Bonsoir. And thank you so much for being here on Royal Sussex. Y'all, Charlotte's here. Okay. There is part of that team of people from Kensington Palace that made life a nightmare for the Sussexes. I just wanted to remind people that those are the ones. Let me see. I don't know what happened to Christian Jones. I'm sure he got a nice position somewhere, no pun intended. Jason Knopf, well, he's going to be honored pretty soon, and likely, you know what? I'm just going to guess all three of them are likely to be at the coronation. So there is a good motivation for anybody who will, I'm not saying that they destroyed anybody's life, allegedly, but I'm just saying there's an alleged incentive to try to ruin somebody's life, even if it's a member of the royal family and you're just the help. They'll make it worth your while. Like, for instance, Simon Case, I think he got a position within the government after leaving Kensington Palace, allegedly part of that group of people that drove the Sussexes out of the country and made their lives miserable, allegedly. So yeah, there's plenty incentive if indeed any of them are guilty of being treacherous henchmen for William, which I don't know to be true, so I have to say alleged. But You know, Harry made veiled references to several people in his book. I don't know that any of them but Jason directly, but um, anyway, and I'm feeling kind of shady too. So, perception is all a matter of perception. What the Cambridges are doing right now is part of the perception game. Perception, a belief or an opinion formed before enough information is available to form it correctly. And that is one of the reasons why the polls are so skewed, why public opinion has been so tainted, is because the palace has played this perception game. And I think that one of the perceptions is that the Sussexes are no longer members of the royal family, which is impossible because that is Harry's birthright. And whatever anyone says or does, and all that, oh, we're going to strip them of their titles and such. That's Harry's name is Prince Harry. He's always going to be Prince Harry. That cannot be taken away. You can take away Sussex or Kinkill or what's the other one, Dumbarton. You take all that stuff away, but he is still Prince Harry. And where there is a prince, his wife is the princess. And that is just the fact. Now, as agreed with their leaving of the royal family, as you know, senior working members of the family, they have promised not to use their HRH titles for purposes of trade or commerce. And of course, they haven't always even used the titles Prince Harry or Duchess of Sussex or Duke of Sussex. They really prefer people just call them Meghan and Harry. So that's fine. It doesn't limit any respect or anything like that. It's just the way it is. So, but yeah, a lot of the problems evolve from perceptions. And the perceptions, in other words, the lie becomes the truth in so many cases, especially where you have someone who can't pay their electric bill, but they wake up every day trying to defend an institution as wealthy as the British royal family, an institution as polarizing as the British royal family, the very highest level of the aristocracy, the royal family, and as some people say, they uphold the ideals of white supremacy, the royal family. And there are people who wake up every day trying to defend them, even though they have these very posh lives. And, you know, some of those people, and if you think I'm only talking about people in Britain, I am not. There are some Americans here that have become such Anglophiles and such royalists. You know, and there's one thing, I would consider myself an Anglophile, but as for a royalist, certainly not. I don't recall that I ever defended the idea of monarchy. I don't know that I've ever embraced it. As I said before, I always assumed that after the Queen passed away, that all of this would go. That it's like no way to justify um, the monarchy such as it is today. Now, as they just buried the king of Greece, a lot of people will see that and assume that he has been in Greece all this time and that he's been a sovereign in his nation of birth or his, you know, his kingdom, but he hasn't. But that does not take the title away. So whether or not there is a ruling monarchy or a reigning monarchy in Britain, there's always going to be a royal family. That does not go away. I mean, you still have Bourbons and, or what is it, the Duke of Orleans or whatever, trying to claim the French throne, which doesn't exist anymore, but that does not take their lineage away from them. So those are two different things. Even if the Scottish people decide by referendum to leave the Union and to become an independent republic, and possibly rejoin the European Union, it doesn't mean that Charles is no longer the King of Scotland. That is something completely different. But if part of their new constitution declares that he's no longer a sovereign, well, then that's also a possibility. So, all right. Continuing. This is just my sentiments about the Prince and Princess of Wales. From time to time, I roll out Minnie with her magic pie as a affirmation of my feelings about them. So, yeah. So haters, I guess you have to find out what Minnie's pie is. Now, torches will light path for Brexit Day rally, right? Torches will light the path for the Brexit Day rally. So that is actually the National, which is a Scottish newspaper. Um, Take a look here. There you go. People took to the streets in Scotland, right there. A striking torch lit procession will lead protesters to a rally at the Scottish Parliament to mark the third anniversary of Scotland's forced removal from the European Union. Now, all of these hundreds, maybe thousands of people took to the streets in Edinburgh, I suppose, yeah, it is because that's where the Scottish Parliament is. So Scotland has a parliament. They don't have a prime minister, they have a first minister. After they leave the union, then they will be able to have a prime minister. But for now, they have a first minister. And the Scottish Parliament is along the Royal Mile and very near to the Holyrood Castle, or is it Holyrood Palace? Well, anyway, that is where people took to the streets to protest because they want to mark that occasion when they were forced to leave the European Union. Not everybody liked that. It's been very impactful to the economy in the United Kingdom. And really, whatever happens to England, it's usually worse off for people in Wales and Scotland because, well, that parliament in Westminster tends to take care of them first and everybody else gets the crumbs. Anyway, that is what they call perception. Now, whether or not it's true, I don't know. But I do support the right for Scotland um, to what is it, succeed from the union because they're not happy. And I suppose it must be true if all these well-meaning people agree that we're getting the short end of the stick. So they have had it in for that Westminster government for some time, and some people are just ready to move on. So it is time to move on. This is what Charles has to deal with. Charles, with his newly minted gold carriage, has to worry about Wales and Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland may become part of, the Republic of Ireland soon. And notice they throw the name Republic in there to remind you that they do not have a king. And also, Scotland wants to join. So that would leave Charles whittled down to just what you see behind the cross of St. George. How about that? Okay, so we're going to protest the coronation, are you? Don't forget, Yellow T-shirt guy, amongst others, are expected to protest the coronation on Archie's birthday, which of course is May the 6th, 2023. They are going to protest because they say Charles is not my king. And wait a minute, is there some competition for Yellow T-shirt guy? Huh? Not what is it? Citizen, not subject? Yeah, so there's someone else there who is going to remind you that I am a citizen, not a subject. Now, if you are in the United Kingdom, You are considered a subject of the king, not a citizen. Citizens are for republics like, I don't know, the United States or other places. But if you are part of the United Kingdom, then you're not a citizen, you're a subject. You are under the umbrella of his sovereignty. You are on his land, Charles III. So, oh man. So yeah, I guess they're selling those t-shirts on that republic.org, whatever. But yeah, so yellow t-shirt guy has some competition. How much competition? I don't know. I mean, after all, yellow t-shirt guy is yellow t-shirt guy. And this is the citizen, not subject guy. All right, so there you go. They are still planning a big rally. Let me see. Does this citizen need a sugar mama? Well, they didn't actually leave a forwarding address, but there is a, the other address there, the that address. But oh man, I have to see. Oh, did you like the free Greta Thunberg T-shirt? Let me see. Where is it? There you go. Free Greta Thunberg. Yes, there's always the T-shirt man. Whatever occasion, there's always that T-shirt man. Bruh man with the T-shirts. Okay. Pose paint a grim picture as Prince William and Kate's popularity plunge. Now, this was in the Express, and it said that the Prince and Princess of Wales have often been credited as two of the most popular members of the British royal family. However, even their numbers are taking a bit of a dip. Uh, she added their net favorability sits at a 49% for the prince and 50% for the princess, the lowest figures on record for the duo since polling started in 2011. Now, all of this polling stuff, I have to tell you, this is so much like politics that it is frightening, but I can understand polling for the royal family in Britain, but for Harry and Meghan, they are no longer performing their royal duties as senior members of the royal family. They're in America. They're in America and they're not running for public office. So, full disclosure, it's not such a big deal, but they do it anyway. But again, I don't even know how they pose the questions to people. I've had the Rangers say they're not royal anymore. Now, this poor stammering mute, she actually went to some daycare or classroom full of children. Um, Gosh, when was that? Yesterday? And she sputtered out a few words that seemed to catch people off guard. Wait. I had it and now I don't see it. Oh man, I wanted to share the soundbite with you or lack thereof, but for some reason I don't see it anymore. Um, I guess I didn't save it. Let me check. I'll see if I could play it for you. It's very short, but fun. You can barely make out what she's saying, and she did that maybe that little thing that she does. Um, hmm. Oh Lord, I can't find it. Sorry about that, you guys. And I made it a point to save the photo, but I did not. I'm trying to find it, and I don't see it. Disappointing. By the Ray. Listen to me sounding like Barbara Walters. By the way, Rishi Sunak is in trouble for riding in the back of his car without a seatbelt. And people have pointed it out, and he is being slammed in the media for that. I think it's time to replace him with an English rose, I suspect is what they're up to. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Okay, you guys, sorry about that. I do not have the stammering mute soundbite ready for you guys. So that's a no-go. And I'm trying to find it, and I don't see it. My goodness, and I thought for sure I had it. Sorry about that. So Sean has a super chat. Sean says, message from Queen. I'm Queen Elizabeth, ruler of what's left. Wait. Of what's left of the Commonwealth and the hardest, I can't say that one, to wear the crown. Can we see Philip? Can we see Philip in a t-shirt? And Camilla, I'm watching you. Oh, man. Well, thank you for that, Sean. I wish I could make that happen right now, but I am having trouble finding the stammering mute. What did I do with it? And it was everywhere before, and now I don't see it. Oh, well. Isn't that something? When I'm looking for it, I cannot find it. Oh, well. All right, I'm going to move on. All right. Anyway, thank you so much for that, Sean, and thank you for the super chat. All right, let's continue. So, and of course, after I did that one, then I wanted to do this one where I would mention the mute woman, but I guess that's a moot point now. So again, I'm just going to move on. Sorry about that, you guys. I seem to be ill prepared with those two things today. Man, anyway, I'm going to have to do the thing with her tomorrow. So sorry about that, you guys. Yep, just when I thought I had everything ready. Oh, well. Be like that. Take a note, Nicola. Make a note, Nicola. Okay, moving on. So right here, Camilla made Kate Middleton's life a nightmare by gloating about her newfound power as King Charles seized the crown. And then here it says Queen Consort Camilla making Kate Middleton's life a nightmare. I don't know where this is coming from, but these three seem to come out almost at the same time. Let me see, 15th, 16th, and that one says a day ago, so I'm not sure, but that seems to be recent. So why they are perpetuating this idea that the Queen Consort is making Kate's life miserable, I don't know. I don't suppose that there must be any like real motivation behind it. Maybe it's just a clickbait, but I would be interested to know if there is something that is going to affect the mute woman. But yeah, so they put that out there. I have no context to go with it, but I'll say this much. Let me see.
I can tell you because I report a lot on the royal family. Harry has been bristling about even the smallest criticism of him for some years now. And actually, he has the thinnest skin of any member of the royal family. So unlike Meghan, because she swears that...
That's not the one I wanted. That was that one. You guys, I'm sorry. There's a bit of a glitch, and I'm like clicking on stuff and nothing is happening. So I'll try to sort that out. I am clicking on stuff and nothing is happening. Let me see. Yeah, my computer is about as hot as a firecracker right now, so that's why nothing is working. But yeah, sorry about that.
One of the reasons Catherine is so
doesn't even
popular
read her own
amongst
press.
certain
My royal sources
demographics,
tell
and I'm
me that
going to
Harry
say,
reads everything,
oh my God, I
and he
can't make it
often
stop.
stews over the most minor of slights. So he'll
stop. Oh my God, that was scary. I couldn't make it stop. Anyway, the good thing is I'm almost done. Okay, so right here, we need him more than ever. Most people know that. For God's sakes, writes Allison Pearson, I would far rather have a world full of Jeremy Clarksons than Meghan Markle's. Well, Monisha Rajesh, is it? She says, white feminists in a nutshell. Now, there has been this long assertion that some of the people who call themselves a feminist that just happen to be white women, like for instance, let's talk about Rachel Johnson, um, um, Boris Johnson's sister. She was the one who wrote that article saying that Meghan's exotic DNA is going to taint the thin blue blood of the Windsor family. Okay. She said that. And then when she came to the United States, she was trying to, I don't know if it was a book tour or something, but a white feminist in the US kind of took her to task on it on this podcast where she reminded her about that. And Rachel Johnson seemed to be caught off guard because she thought she was in a safe space where she could ignore the fact that she had been so rude and racist toward Meghan, and she was called out for it. And so a lot of these women that write for the tabloids, like the Telegraph, they see themselves as being a feminist. Okay, I get that part of it. But then at the same time, it seems as though they uplift and support a misogynist and someone who has been declared an absolute racist from his past comments that he made, Jeremy Clarkson. They seem to support and uplift those people, and they themselves sometimes are the ones that are outright racist in their rhetoric. And that is a bit of a quandary, isn't it? That on the one hand, you call yourself a feminist, but when it comes to a Black woman, then all of a sudden you take the side of the misogynist, racist man. What kind of logic is that where you call yourself someone who's there for your sisters, but when it comes down to it, you act and conduct yourself in a completely different way? So this Allison Pearson, who, as per usual, writes for one of the tabloids and supposedly is a bit of a feminist, well, that is one of the things that, and trust me when I say this, there's enough of that here in the United States where you will have someone who calls themselves a feminist and they themselves, as a white woman, seem to have it in for Black men. Well, across the pond, it seems like they seem to have it in for women of color or Black women. That is just very odd. It strikes me as odd. Like you can see in the red box there, someone responding to this says, I made the mistake of viewing that Telegraph tweet, and to see so many British white people agree with this with this is rather unsettling. I am a Black British woman, and this scares the crap out of me. I walk among these people, potential employers and public servants. Is scary. And then the other person said, doesn't say a lot for Camilla Parker Bowles either, to be honest. The Queen Consort enjoys the company of a super hater, Clarkson and Morgan, or super haters rather, Clarkson and Morgan. So there you go. On the one hand, you would imagine that as a feminist that you are, for all womankind, and that you're going to stand up and defend women no matter what against someone who is obviously a misogynist. Well, this Allison Pearson person doesn't seem to be apt to defend Meghan from the misogyny or the racism components of a Jeremy Clarkson. That is disappointing. That is very, very disappointing, especially for someone like myself who constantly, wasn't ready for that one yet, who constantly stands up for the rights of just about anybody and everybody, especially if their values are in alignment with my own, to see something like this. And I mean, gosh, I felt that same way, where I find myself in a workplace or being waited upon or served by a public servant, and yet they harbor those negative, nasty feelings about people of color, or in this case, about a woman of color. Very troubling to see something like that. So, let's see here. When people like Allison Pearson show you who they are, thank them and believe them. Don't be surprised. Those folks have a colonizer mentality. No shocker there. Cheryl Bush, that's very appropriate. Colonizer mentality. That's exactly what it is. And the idea of British exceptionalism, it seems to be born out of a colonizer's mentality, where you have to look down at the rest of the world because you're British and you're exceptional. And that type of snobbery even is directed toward the French. There's always been this like competition between the two countries that are so intertwined that so much of the English language evolved from French. And yet there's this implied superiority over the French, over the Germans, over the Dutch, over everybody that's non-English. And that continues today. I don't know that it continues so much with, say, the working class, but for someone from the upper classes or the aristocracy, it seems to be a constant that you have to have this air of superiority, even with the French or the Italians, which, in so many ways, the arts and literature in English mimic the French and the Italians and even the Greeks and such, and yet there's that air of superiority. Very confusing. Let me see. Yes, Baron, that Rachel is on public TV promoting her book. I heard her trying to weasel her way out. Tina and Michelle got the video. Okay, maybe that's where I saw it, but I remember that from somewhere where she tried to pretend like she was just this feminist making her way through the States promoting a book, and only for the woman interviewing her to call her out about her treatment of Meghan. I bet you could have bought her behind for a nickel. I bet you she almost collapsed from the embarrassment of it. But that's what you get. So with that, you guys, let me throw a Rohiniism at you. 5 M's, maligning Meghan makes money. That is from Rohini, one of our favorite squatties. But the 5 M's, maligning Meghan Markle makes money. And it is a $1 billion industry. And for the privilege, they want to make sure that the Sussexes are isolated and poor, and no one wants to work with them or stand with them or in any way deal with them. That is the goal from the palace, is to leave them penniless. And of course, one of the more hateful people in the British tabloid media wants Meghan naked and paraded down the streets in every town. Oh God, who thinks of something like that? Oh man, disgusting, disgusting. Now, here's a little something for you. Take a look at this. This is some bad photoshopping, and the Squatty Detective Agency found this, where they tried to depict Meghan as being obsessed with Princess Diana. You see the photo in the lower left corner? That is supposed to be Meghan obsessed with being Diana 2.0. The only thing is that isn't Meghan's room. Meghan never stood in that space. Someone photoshopped her, but the bottom part they forgot to, they let it, a different layer of the photo showing and exposed, rather than otherwise it would have looked very convincing, but the lighting is all wrong, because as you can see with the proper lighting, Meghan looks very different in the actual photo with the wooden whatever panel behind her. So the point is, Meghan never stood in that space. Someone actually photoshopped this. This is some really bad photoshopping. So that's it for today, you guys. Straight out of Nottingham Cottage. Thank you all so much for being here, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Many happy returns of the day. Thank you so much to the moderators for keeping this a very, very safe space. Much obliged. Also, what else do we have here? Fresh Prince of Montecito. Yeah, that was it, you guys. Just those few slides. Yeah, so I'll just leave that there. Jacqueline Squash, our official chaplain for the Royal Sussex. Good evening, family. I'm so glad our God Almighty sits high and looks low, and he is in charge. We stand with the Sussex family, Mom Doria, and all God's people. Love you, family. Thank you, Jacqueline, and thank you so much for sharing that beautiful prayer with us. Also, Two River Power has a super chat. He's got that walking naked thing from Game of Thrones. I heard him use that as an excuse, but it still speaks volumes about Jeremy Clarkson. That's his go-to, scenario when envisioning the Duchess of Sussex, is that again and again, at least twice that we know of, he's written that, and twice it was printed or shared through social media, where he envisioned her naked and being paraded about. So deeply embedded in his psyche and very disturbing that image is his go-to. But thank you so much for that, Two River Power, and thank you so much for the super chat and for watching Royal Sussex. But yeah, that is just strange. Oh, Sherry, I forgot about your book, didn't I? I will talk to you on the what is it, the Twitter, and we'll sort something out. Maybe I'll use the community tab to find a worthy person. And Black Queen, I guess maybe the same for you. But yeah, but I don't want nobody's address, because I don't want nobody accusing me of anything weird like that. I'm like very, very not interested in people's personal information. I think our anonymity as squatties is important. So, but yeah, we'll sort that out, Sherry and Black Queen. Okay, so Black Queen, you had a list for me. I'm sorry, Sherry, you had a list for me from yesterday. Hey, Lydia Washington, let me grab that. You know what? I forgot to turn my humidifier on. No wonder my voice is starting to go. Okay, so Sherry Ware, let's do yesterday's first. So yesterday's donation, Eliza Shanae had a new membership. Joan Lawman, KDV, Black Queen, Black Queen, Black Queen, Black Queen. Shelly L, Lil to you. Thank you all for the super chats and super stickers. Sonia Dundridge, thank you so much for the new membership. And the best, thank you for the 2 super chats and or super stickers. God's Child has been a member for 9 months. And Kathy A, thank you. And Dina Cardoso, thank you so much. Laverne Lockhart, thank you for yesterday's. All those were yesterday's. And for today's donation and membership, Connie Balmer, thank you. Black Queen for the 2. Helen Cole, yes, thank you. And Peacekeeper, aka Shelly L, right? Thank you for those. Legs, thank you. And Sean, thank you for the super chat. And lastly, 2 River Power, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you, one and all. And okay, so that's it, you guys. Thank you very much. Let me see. 2 hours. Very good. I was hoping I wouldn't go much further than that. So 2 hours is good. And to make sure that it stays close to 2 hours, I am going to Ginger Avenger us out of here after I acknowledge, as per usual, our Queen of Hearts and our Queen of Everything. All right. Done, done, done. Last word of the day is oh yeah, sorry about that. Our last word of the day is the 5 M's. Malign Meghan Markle makes money. A reminder from Rohini that this is how the British tabloid media fill their coffers, build their new kitchens, add extensions to their dwellings, as well as buy new vehicles and upgrade certain things in their lives, is by literally going after one of the sweetest people that's ever been, the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, someone who has been praised by anyone and everyone who's ever known or worked with her. And yet, for some reason, it suits the people in the business over there and the family firm to try and destroy an innocent person. They're trying to destroy innocence. But what they didn't count on was the Sussex squad. We, it's with us is ride or die. So we got their backs. As I say, ride or die. There you go. Ride or die. Ride or die. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. And I will see you all tomorrow. Cue the Ginger Avenger and go.
I just don't get it. I don't get any of it.
What do you mean? You don't get what?
I don't get why we're so obsessed with these humans that are exactly the same. Like, it could be us four sitting there. I just don't get it.
But are you talking about what you mean as royals or as like Kim Kardashian? Because for me, they're becoming celebrities.
Well, yeah, to me, that's all they are.
The Queen
is their celebrity.
For me, is brilliant.
I love the Queen.
No, for duty, responsibility.
She's always worked really hard,
But
hasn't
I would
she?
work hard if the whole country paid for me to have like 12 houses and work really hard.
But they don't pay for all of the houses. But
Just a few.
Okay, story time. Do y'all want to know how I know that the haters are obsessed with Meghan Markle? Like, that there is a faction of people, like, who are just continuously spend all their time hating on this woman. And I wasn't sure until yesterday. Okay, so I was at the UN yesterday for Mandela Day, which, amazing. Rest in peace, Nelson Mandela. And unexpectedly, I saw Meghan Markle. And I have been the biggest fan. I just love her. I loved her wedding. I loved her on Suits. I used to read the Tig. I have been a fan since pre-Harry, pre-everything, okay? I used to read her blog. So, I got very excited and I tweeted this. Woo! Lamp. But I tweeted this. And this, for me, went, like, viral. Like, my Twitter sucks. Nobody follows me. Probably not very funny. So, this is the most, like, Twitter engagement I've ever had. And I was like, gee, why? Okay, I guess they love her too. That's great. But there were a lot of, like, oh, it's good for you. That's so cool comments. But there were a lot of, like, really aggressive, targeted, racist hate comments at her, at me. People were DMing me, coming at me. Like, really, really bad stuff. Like, some of the worst hate comments I've ever gotten. And as, like, a tester, I tweeted about her a few more times. I really am a big fan. Like, and these, like, this is more likes than I ever get on Twitter. I get, like, 20 likes a tweet. This is kind of crazy. And it continues, like, 1,000 likes a post. First of all, it was fantastic. I love her. I didn't get to talk to her. I didn't feel it was appropriate to, like, ambush her on a day of remembrance for Nelson Mandela, but I got to see her from far away. I took a picture for me. I'm not going to share it because it was, like, you know, an off-guard candidate I took of her. But, you know, anyway, it was amazing. But I am so shocked. Like, hundreds of people are attacking a teenager for being a fan of a celebrity or of somebody, like of an actress and I guess a princess or a duchess. Like, who? That's so weird. Like, people don't post, oh, I love this artist or I love anybody, and people just, like, pile on and call them names and call them racist things and are like, you must be a dumb, brainwashed idiot. I was like, damn. So in conclusion, the comments are still pouring in, and let me just say, y'all are obsessed. Like, she has them pressed, stressed, obsessed, she got him. It's insane. And it's like grown men, random old white ladies, like, who spend their time posting the craziest theories, just the wildest stuff. And I was like, do y'all have a life? Literally a random white man DM'd me to say, did you know she's in the CIA and, like, spying for people? But you know what? Despite the ridiculous hate comments I got for just saying I love Meghan Markle, it was a crazy full circle for me seeing her. I love her. Like, when I was 15 or 16, I went to the UN again, or I guess before, for a charity thing that I was doing. And not only did I copy her hairstyle, I collaged it. This is a collage. Ah, the lamp again. This is a collage that I made when I was like, yeah, I think this is 2016. And there's me doing charity work because she, like, inspired me to, like, be in philanthropy and be like yourself and be glamorous while helping people. I love her. When I tell you her engagement hair was my go-to hairstyle for years. This is my junior prom. I did the same thing for senior prom. I love this woman. I've seen all of Suits, like Quiz Me on Anything. I loved Suits. When I heard like the dating rumors, I was like, yo, Rachel Zane! Like, I love her. I love Suits. Like, I am very proud of having been a fan for so long. And she was so beautiful and so graceful and just like not calling attention to herself, like really focused on the events of Mandela Day. Like, she was not, just really peaceful, lovely, elegant, quiet, focused on the speakers. Looking at her like made my day. It was just, wow. Also, fun fact, I missed my Yale tour because I was watching her wedding. I was in a hotel room, not in New Haven, in Hartford, and I had to get up and drive to Yale. But I tried to watch her wedding instead, and I didn't make it in time for the group tour, and maybe that's why I go to Harvard. I don't know, and not Yale.